Hey. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here today. I really appreciate it. Um, Love the spirit in the room is unbelievable. Every time I'm with Tamara, it's that way, though. I can't tell you. So, little thoughts here. So, I was blessed as a human being. Was for multiple years, I was running many businesses. They were unbelievable. Um, then one day I woke up and the world was shut down. I was blown away. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So I went into one of my restaurants. Every employee was crying. My managers were like, oh my God, what's going to happen in life? But me, I'm an optimist. I believe. I said, what is a problem? I said, a problem is an opportunity. I said, this is only going to last a couple months. It's not a big deal. But everybody knows in this room what happened next. COVID, none of us could have predicted that, right? My restaurants were drowning. I had 7 restaurants, 400 employees at this time, and not one customer. But my employees were my world. My employees were everything to me. I didn't know if they were going to have food on their tables. I didn't know if they were going to have a place to live. But as entrepreneurs, what do? We fight. We make it happen. You're 100% correct. That's what we do every day. It's in our blood, right? So what did I do? I went back to my company. I told my entire C-suite. I told every one of my employees, it is time to get in the lifeboat. We all jumped in that lifeboat, every one of us. We went back to the business fundamentals. How do we treat employees? What does our customer satisfaction look like? How do we systemize our systems? And 2 years later, we fed over 200,000 people in our community. We went back to our basics. We went back to systemizing our systems. And 2 years later, our company's unbelievable. Our customers are thrilled to death. But you know what? Our employees have a job. They're back to work. They're loving life. We're hiring more people right now than ever. But as entrepreneurs, that's what we need to do. We need to go back to our basics. You want to build your business? You want to grow? Go back to the basics. Build the fundamentals of your brand. Invest in your people. Don't hire them. Invest in your people, and they will invest in you. I promise you. If you believe, you will achieve. I believe every day of my life. As entrepreneurs, I am here today to help you. I am here today to help you build a foundation to grow your business. In the next 20 minutes, what I'm going to do is give you 3 principles of my 7. I'm going to show you how to build the 3 pillars of your brand and make sure they're in alignment. I'm going to give you the opportunity, the 4 steps of delegation to grow your business. And then the last one I'm going to do today is teach you how to be an experience creator. Are you ready? Yes. All right, here we go. So the 3 pillars of your brand. I want everybody to get your pen and piece of paper out. If you're not writing today, you're not learning. I promise you. I want you to write down 3 words that represent your company or your business or your ministry, whatever you do. What are the 3 words? And then what I want you to do with that, and you're not going to be able to do this all today, trust me. Write down 3 words that represent your company or your brand or your ministry. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, when you get back to work, I want you to ask your employees. I want you to ask your customers. If those 3 words do not align, you need to change something. They all have to work together. So in my company, my 3 pillars are family, quality, and community. You ask any one of my employees in my restaurants, I say, what are the 3 pillars of my brand? You know what they tell you? Family, quality, and community. I ask my employees, I ask my customers. They're all in alignment, right? But the thing is, family means something totally different to somebody else. So I'll tell you a story. I walked into one of my restaurants. There was a mission statement. I was so proud of it. I put it up on the wall. I'm like, I have this great mission statement. It's amazing. I have a meeting with 15 of my managers from that one restaurant. I put the mission statement down by my side. And I asked everybody at the table, I'm like, somebody tell me the mission statement. Not one person knew the mission statement. Not one. Who in here knows their mission statement by hand, by heart? How many of your employees know your mission statement? How many employees? All of them know it. Can you tell me your mission statement? Did you see transforming lives one shovel at a time? Who else knows their mission statement? What is it? How many people know that? Everyone. If I walk into any one of your hotels right now, will they all tell me that? The cleaning ladies. That's what it is. When that all goes into alignment, then you're doing something. I asked them all, so what did I do? I took my mission statement, ripped it up, threw it out. I'm like, this is done. I said, I want 3 words. Because when I say family to one of my employees, it's their grandmother that's struggling at home, why they're at work every day, right? When I say quality, you think food. I don't think food ever. I think, what is the quality of the environment I'm creating for the people? What is the quality of the uniform they're working? Does everybody hear me? This is so important to your business, right? Then I look at that, and I look at my 3 pillars, and I'm like, wow, does my name work? I had a person I was mentoring and coaching. I said, what do you want to call your business? And she goes, Mama's Medicine. I'm like, what are you selling? And you know what she tells me? She goes, I'm a massage therapy place. I'm like, Mama's Medicine? So I pulled up my phone. I'm like, okay, Mama's Medicine. What does it do? She goes, I don't know. So we changed her name based on her 3 pillars of her brand. Her new company is Nirvana Massage. But here's the best part. Do you know what her creams and her oils are called? Mama's Medicine. It's on purpose. I didn't take away her soul because she believes, she's so holistic. She loves it. She feels like a mother. When she's taking care of you, she feels that motherly thing. I ask her all the time when she gives me a massage, I'm like, how are you doing? She goes, you wore me out. Because everything she does, she puts it all into you. So I didn't want to take away her heart. Go back to your brand. Know your 3 pillars of your brand. Honestly. So this is going to take 2 to 3 months to accomplish this. I promise you. Write 1 word across these, 3 words across the top, then write 30 words below each one of them. It's going to take you that long to figure out. You're going to change that top word 10 times. Go back to your brand. And before you even tell any one of your employees or your customers, ask them, give me 3 words that mean something to you about my company. Do it. The next one. Who in here wants to grow? I know we're a grow for God, right? Who wants to grow? Let me see your hands. I want to grow. I grow every day. If I'm not growing, I'm dying. I lean forward every day of my life. I don't have a rear view mirror in my car. I look forward. Okay? So let me ask you a question. 4 steps of delegation. Number 1, we need a task. What's number 2? I need a person. I need a person, right? I have a task. I need somebody to do it, right? Number 3, I have to set the expectation. I have to make sure that employee understands clearly what I want. I'm going somewhere with this. I want you to really hear me out because this is a lost art in business. The last one is the follow-through, which we all know. The last step is follow-through. So it's the task, it's the person, setting the expectation, and the follow-through. When you're a manager and you ask somebody to do something and the employee doesn't do it right, what do? What does the average manager do? Do you know? They correct them. They say, my gosh, do you not know how to do anything? Then you say, oh, I'll do a better job next time. They do it again the next time. What happens when they don't do it right? Manager does the same exact thing. Hollers at the employee. You know who you need to holler at? You. That's who you need to holler at. When you do the follow-through, the most important thing to do on the follow-through is criticize yourself. And I'm talking the first time, the second time. The third time, I'm going to reevaluate that employee and maybe give them another opportunity where they're going to be stronger. I'm going to give them an opportunity to grow somewhere else in my company because that's what it is. They might not have been the right person, But always first go back. Did I set the proper expectation for this employee? You want to grow your business, you have to grow through your people. Unless you're a solopreneur. I have 400 employees currently. I invest in my people to grow. That's what you need to do. The art of delegation. Delegation, you can read 1,000 business books right now, but I guarantee you're not going to find many that say criticize yourself. I guarantee you. We need to look in the mirror when we're doing this. All right. Stop looking at the window. So who in here knows how to create an experience? You all do? I'm going to create an experience. I'm going to come down here with you. This is what I do. I don't like standing on stage because, I'm one of you. We are all in this together. Entrepreneurship's a battle. I'm in the dirt every single day of my life. I can wear a nice sports jacket. I can wear nice shoes. Doesn't matter. I work every day. I work every day. But what is an experience? Are you an experience creator? You're an experience creator? Come on, can you dance? Come on, we can dance. Come on. Come on. Come on, we can dance, all right? So we're just creating an experience, right? Right? Do I have employees? I do. I have 7 restaurants. I have construction companies. Do you think I have servers in my restaurant? I don't have any servers. I have none. I have experience creators. I guarantee you go back to your businesses today and you change the name of your salesperson, the person digging ditches, the person selling on the phones. Tell them they're experience creators. Tell them that new job description. Go in and take every one of your job descriptions and tell them, we no longer have servers. We no longer have salespeople. I no longer have housekeepers. You're an experience creator. When they go clean that bed, let me tell you something. They're going to think about creating an experience. They're going to think about where they put that remote control. They can think about when they walk in the door. Are you an experience creator? It doesn't do anything if us as entrepreneurs know that we're the experience creator. Are your employees the experience creator? How are you creating that value? How are you creating the value? How many people in here hire? I've never hired an employee. Never hired one. I invest in my people. What does that mean? When you invest in something, if you give me $5,000 to put in the stock market, right? What is your expectation? You want a return on that investment, right? So why do you not do that with your employees? Why do you not do that with your employees? Invest in them and they will invest in you. No, some of the fundamentals I talk about in business they're simple. But unless we think about them every single day, it has to be top of mind. If I go back to your business, you tell every one of your managers or anybody that's hiring people, you need to invest in your people. Don't hire them. We don't hire people anymore. They're going to look like you're crazy. What do you mean we don't hire? I spent $2,000 on Indeed. But we invest in our people. I promise you that's a key element. So today what I want to do is, you see, I don't know if you have time for questions. I'm not going to be able to answer them all today. But if you want, text me and I will answer every one of them. I promise you. The best way for you and I to learn today is going to be Q&A. Is everybody okay with Q&A? Are you afraid to ask questions? All right, I hope not, because I love answering questions. I don't care what question you ask me. It doesn't matter if it's spiritual. It doesn't matter. I'm not crazy. I grew up in a Catholic school, and they make you think a different way when you're in Catholic school. But Tamara's helped me so much become a spiritual person, more so than a religious person. I really didn't understand that. And gosh, it's overwhelming for me. So let's ask some questions. Anything about business? May I have my phone real quick? This is my beautiful wife, by the way. We've been together 40 years. So I'm sure she has a few words for me. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Yep. So who has the first question today? Raise your hands. Doesn't matter. I have 3 daughters, too. We'll get that out of the way, and all 3 of them are entrepreneurs. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Swader.
Hi, Caitlin.
I love Why Not, by the way. I'm a
Oh,
local.
thank you.
How do you keep the integrity down the line if you don't get to see or interact or meet those people? And, for example, all of your many locations, how do you, if someone gets exhausted by life or they lose that message that they got in the beginning, how do you keep that integrity in there?
So when I talk about investing in my employees, right, you have to invest in your training programs. So I have a training company called Employee Launch, and it's upward mobility training. So what I've done is created a system where from the very first day you come to me, it's predictive interviewing, right? And then we train for 52 weeks a year. The average employee is trained 6 weeks. And then they're said, run, go. And then when they mess up, what does that manager do? Criticizes them. But they're not investing in them. You need to train your employees constantly. Training is communication. The more you communicate with your staff, the better they will be and the more they'll perform. They have to understand. And go back to the 3 pillars of your brand. Do they understand where they're actually working? Do they understand the mission of what you're trying to accomplish in your business? I don't care what you do in life, if it's your husband, your wife, your children. Communication is the most important thing. 99% of all problems come from communication. I promise you, reinvest in your employees, train them, invest in them. So when I'm talking about hiring, I'm not just talking about hiring and the process of hiring. I'm talking about training them, making them want to be with you. If they know the 3 pillars and they know the mission, it makes training easier, right? Makes it easier. Who else? What's next? I love questions. I'm going to come down to be with you. Who has a question? Anything? Yes, ma'am. What was my biggest problem or angst in business? Not accomplishing exactly what I wanted every day. Because for me, criticizing my employees was never an option. So for me, every day is a new day. I never look at yesterday. I'm always moving forward. But I want to be better than yesterday every single day. So for me, the hardest thing is just doing that mentally, doing that every single day. Because to be better than yesterday every day, you've got to put mindset into that. Everything I do is mindset. I've had massive failures. I've lost over $500,000 twice in my life. They were terrible losses. But what did I do? I'm an entrepreneur. What does that mean? What is the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur? Does everybody know that? They're 2 different things. So I'm going to explain. What are they? Oh, you asked me, what are they? I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. So as a business owner, right, I got into the pizza business, right? I was a young kid in Jersey on the shore. 15 years old, I was the best pizza man in the world in I can't remember, 84. That was a long time ago. I was the best pizza man in the world. So I'm like, I'm going to go open a pizzeria. I was a business owner for the first 15 years because I was in my business, working on my business. Working in it. I wasn't on it yet, right? So what I had to do was start to trust people. I started to have to trust people. I had to have micro failures instead of macro failures. I had to let people fail to grow. And that's what it was. So for me, those biggest losses in my life, what did I do the next day? I got up and said, what did I learn from this and how am I going to be better tomorrow? That's what I do. Who's next? Yes, ma'am. What is an entrepreneur? I didn't tell you. I say entrepreneurs, they work on their business. They've trusted their employees to the point where they can actually start working on their business. They're not in there running the business every single day. I'm in Nashville today. I have 400 employees working. I'm an entrepreneur. Does that mean that's always going to be that way? I went back in the lifeboat 2 years ago. I had to go back. Howard Schultz, the owner of Starbucks right now, is visiting every one of his Starbucks because they're dying. So there are points in our lives as entrepreneurs that we go back into our brands. But to be an entrepreneur, you need to be able to work on your business, get out of your business, and trust your people. Invest in your employees so you can get out and start working on your business. Because you want to see exponential growth in your business, get out of your business and start working on it. When I go away for 5-6 days, my staff's like, oh my God, he's going away. Because I come back and my brain is on fire. Because I'm actually working on my business then. What question? Yes, ma'am. Oh, this is one of my favorite people here. What is your first name again? Sabrina is a young entrepreneur. You want to get me excited? I have 3 daughters. They're all entrepreneurs. Sabrina has an amazing business. She sews really well, supposedly. I've just met her like an hour ago. So go ahead.
How do you? Oh, hello. Okay.
Stand up now.
Oh
Naomi,
no!
so- Come on, you're an entrepreneur. We stand up.
Okay. Hello. How do you transition from being like a solopreneur into I guess, an entrepreneur that has just with employees, like what are the tangible steps? Because I'm doing the sewing, I'm doing the social media, I'm doing all of that jazz. So what is the first step in like to taking that transition?
At transitioning, right? So the
Yeah.
biggest thing, right? So my daughter, we were having a conversation earlier. My daughter's a solo entrepreneur as well. As a young kid, she started her jewelry company in the college dorm room. So what she had to do was start getting her sales level up, right? Her gross revenue. Take your gross revenue up, and you will know when you need that. All of a sudden, you have so many orders coming in, you don't know what to do. I'm sewing, I'm selling, I'm Instagram, I'm marketing, I'm doing all this stuff. So now you'll start to see, can I afford an employee? My daughter 2 weeks ago just hired her first employee. She's like, oh my gosh, Dad, I have to pay taxes? I'm like, yes, that's what we do as entrepreneurs. Unless you want to go to jail, you have to pay taxes. But she started to realize, but it was a panic. It's never going to be easy. Being an entrepreneur is hard. You know what the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is? It's the loneliest job in the world.
Indeed.
Does anybody know why? Why would I say it's the loneliest job in the world? Buck stops with you. I got 400 employees. I'm worried about putting food on their table every day. It wasn't when the pandemic hit. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for you. It wasn't when the pandemic hit. I wasn't worried about me. I was worried about my staff, my people, because they worry about me every single day. It takes a certain breed to be that person, to care for others. We care for others. We care. That's what entrepreneurs do. We want to grow every day. Who's got another? I want great questions. Go ahead. Here, I'm get.
So, Tillman Fertitta, I'm not sure, you probably know who he is.
Yes.
Great businessman.
Business restaurant guy.
Yep. He wrote a book called Shut Up and Listen. I don't know if you've ever listened. Thank you. I'm not sure if you've ever read that book.
I don't read a lot of books. I read the first 3 chapters and I put them down once I get the idea of it. So I have my own books coming out in April. I'm like, God, I hope everybody reads my book. So I wrote it in like a textbook. Exactly. 3 chapters.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
the question I have is, how do you stay close to the money, right? But also teach your people to make sure that they know where every penny is going, or so that again you can be a profitable organization.
So money's an interesting thing for me. I'm not a money guy. I'm an experience creator. I know if I create the right experience with my employees, the right experience with my guests, money will always be there. I've never in my life, and she can tell you, I do. My thing is, if you invest in your people and the customer, money will come. I've lost 2 businesses. The money didn't come. It drained right out of my bank. Well, what did I do? I made an emotional decision as an entrepreneur at that age to put people in business that weren't ready to be in business. I trusted others. It's okay though, right? Because I trusted another individual. He had 4 children. He was struggling in life, but amazing baker. He's an amazing baker. But he didn't know how to run a business. And I was too busy running one of my other businesses because I wasn't an entrepreneur at that point. I was a business owner trying to run multiple businesses, which failed. If it was today, I would have had better systems, processes, and procedures and probably would still have a bakery. But if I didn't have that lesson in my life, I would not be the man I am today. I don't regret a day I've lived in my life because that day made me who I am now. Who else has a quick question? I have a couple more. Yes, ma'am.
Question is, thank you. I have a virtual life learning center for women who are coming from dysfunctional homes and situations. So my question to you is, my dream is to have one not just virtual, but in person, and have it on a ranch. What would you say my first 3 steps should be in being able to accomplish that?
For her, she was asking what are the first 3 steps. She wants to have a ranch in person instead of virtual, right? So what I would do, the first thing I would do is definitely establish my fundamentals of what you do. You already have your brand purpose, your 3 pillars. Make sure it's crystal clear, right?
Okay.
Then have your process and procedures in place before you open it.
Okay.
Do not make that mistake. One of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is they don't have the process and procedures lined out. When I talk about process and procedure, if you're a plumber and you lay a red carpet down on the rug before you replace a sink, you better be able to tell them exactly, hey, this is how you do it. You unfold it. You put it on the floor. You roll it out. I mean, it sounds silly, right? But every detail before you open that business has to be there. Every single detail. Because we want our employees to have a clear expectation of what has to happen to be successful. And the third one is know your numbers. If you're an entrepreneur and you don't know your numbers, your chance of success is very low. And when I talk about a P&L, I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs I mentor that don't even have P&Ls. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't have a P&L? You have to know your numbers. My pleasure. And there's like another 50 I could help you with. We don't have time for that. Go ahead.
So, I mean, everybody in here, I don't know if people have how big their businesses are and stuff, so it's kind of a broad stroke, but because of your experience in all your businesses and for as long as you've had them, what would you say, a broad stroke answer, I guess, because it depends on the business you're in, but when you really felt like it was time to grow, like besides the market driving maybe that and the money saying like, hey, we're getting too big, we need to grow bigger, what would you say is something that for you was like, hey, we were going to grow, I want to grow bigger? What were those things that like kind of pushed you there?
So it's interesting. She said something that just twinged my brain there for a second. What business are we in? We're all in the same exact business. Every one of us is in the same business. I have many companies right now. They're all the same. For me, whether I'm digging a ditch in my construction company, whether I'm making a pizza, whether I'm doing ads for my agency, it doesn't matter. I am in the same exact business. Growth will come. If you take the piece of like her opening a ranch, when you start to get your process and procedures and systems and your 3 pillars and delegation and training, when you start to get all of those in alignment, growth will start happening. Because what happens is when your customer starts to feel, oh my gosh, this place is amazing. When do you grow? Can somebody answer that question? When is growth? When is scaling? When do you scale a business? I scaled my business the first day I unlocked the door. I started scaling since I love these people that say, hey, I'm going to help you scale. I scaled since the first day I unlocked my door. And that's what it was. So you're scaling every day, but how do you scale further? You get your systems, processes, and procedures. You train properly. You know how to delegate properly, and then you will grow. Does anybody have a last one? Go ahead. If not, just text me. I will respond to you 100%. I promise you.
Okay, my sister over there with the ranch inspired this. So my business has been virtual, and the Lord started showing me a commercial space, and I'm literally moving in 2 weeks to a whole different state to start this commercial space.
Woo!
But I don't know
Everybody, let's clap for that. Love it. That takes risk. That's a risk.
It's a risk, but before you clap, I don't know how to start a commercial space. I was like, what do I need to do first? So if you are thinking about just, really get into the commercial space, like, literally going into a building. I've never had any overhead because I've been on Zoom for years, right? I've mastered that. But my first walkthrough of this building, they're like, we need your pitch deck, we need your projections, we need, they started to tell me all these things, and I literally went to Google. So if you're thinking, I know God is going to guide me, there's no doubt about that, but if you're thinking about someone who is moving from that virtual space into like literally brick and mortar, what would be your advice or steps to kind of start that process?
I think what you did, I got to be honest with you, and I'll tell you a little secret about me. And you can ask my wife, she's sitting right there, so if I was lying, she'll come smack me.
Let me see your face.
But I study economics every single morning. So people, I can't stand the question, she wishes I had an answer for this, like, what is your morning routine? My morning routine is YouTube, finances, everything, and I'm always studying. So the more you can study about that, but like commercial space, one of the most important things before you get into a commercial space is having the right lawyer and the right accountant. Really review that lease. Because we sign leases as entrepreneurs and we just sign them. Oh my God, I'm so excited to go in business. You sign a lease 5 years into business, right? You're not doing so well, and the landlord comes knocking on your door and locks your door. Really, your personal guarantees, everything, right? Are you getting TI money? How are they helping you? And what is arbitration if you do have trouble, right? So you need to do these things. There's some things that you really need to do. Is professionals are paid there for a reason. Don't be afraid to, but find the right one that's maybe specific even to your industry a little bit, because they're going to understand what conflicts and friction. So friction is a huge thing in my life. I always look for friction because friction creates solutions, right? So find lawyers that have dealt maybe with your process because they've dealt with friction more frequently in that industry. Does that make sense? No, it's my. No doubt. And so what he was saying is making sure that it's a tenant representative that represent the person, the salesperson, the broker is representing you, not the landlord. Because typically they're worried about the landlord because that's where they get all their business. Right. They can hire a new tenant for sure. There's no doubt. You know, the question I get frequently, they say, Tony, hey, how can you help me more? So a lot of what I do is I coach a lot of people one-on-one, but what I do is I go in and I help people. So if you have a question, my whole purpose in life is to help entrepreneurs win. It's the only thing I really care about. For me, when I see Mary's breakfast place close down, it's not Mary's closing down. Mary saved for 10 years to open that breakfast place, and she lost it in 2 years. Mary has 10 years to recover. So my whole purpose in life is to take it to that next level and make sure. Imagine the day if you could take all of these fundamentals that I'm talking about, and there's another 4 that I teach, and when my book comes out or you come to my conference in Virginia Beach, you can see it. But so the other 4 pillars are basically training, marketing. There's another one. So just text me and I'll send them all to you. I have an 8.5 by 11 PDF and I'll send them to you on each one of them. That way you can start looking at them. But really, if you took all these fundamentals and the processes and start investing in your own people, define the 3 pillars of your brand. Imagine if you did all that and you took your company to the next level. I was going to close today. I only had a little bit of time, so I want to just tell you a little story. When I was the kid that was put in remedial classes. I was told I was stupid. I got taken out of my English class. I got taken out of my math class. I had to go to this remedial class on the side. So I kind of grew up with that kid, and people didn't believe in me. And you obviously know I had that fire in me, so I couldn't hide it. But then I was in my restaurant one night, and this lady comes up to me, and she says, I have a book I want you to read. And it's The Prayer of Jabez. Does anybody know that? Being a Catholic person, I never really read the book of Jabez, The Prayer of Jabez. And I was told by another spiritual lady in my life, she goes, be careful with that book, that prayer. So, I read the prayer, and it was so relevant to me in my life because God has given me so many acres to expand my life. And I'm truly a blessed man today because of it. I really am. And I think that I was given this path, and the next phase of my life is really to help entrepreneurs win and not lose. When you have that passion and light in your life to be an entrepreneur, to start a business, we're in such a small percentile. Do you know how many people are entrepreneurs? It's so small. And entrepreneurs, 94% of businesses do under $1 million a year. So these people that say, I have this amazing business, if you're doing $200,000 a year, you have a great business. I want you to be proud of that. I want you to be proud every day. What you've done is not normal. If you're an entrepreneur, you've started a business, you should be proud every single day. So I really want everybody to understand. I want you to understand, today we're going to build a blueprint to make you successful. Today we're going to build a blueprint. When you go back with your employees, they're going to love working for you. They're going to have a clear vision on what you're doing. And today we're going to build a blueprint for you as an entrepreneur to take your dream and to own your life after it. Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Tony D. What a wealth of knowledge. A wealth of knowledge. Thank you, sir.